One of the biggest frustrations that I hear from realtors is that some months are amazing. They have closing deals, and other months, not so great. Inconsistency, it is definitely a thief. So, on today's call, I want to talk to you about how critical it is to run your business with simple things that is going to make a real life change right now. And if you're watching this for the first time, thank you so much. This is Amanda. I am a local realtor here in the Seattle area, but a leader here in the US and overseas. So, your global leader, been helping thousands of agents with questions about how to get their business on track. And today I'm going to be breaking down that for you. And if you own a question and want to schedule a call with me, definitely go to Top Agent with Fact and go through my calendar and get that time scheduled. But now let's jump in. So if you feel encouraged, I will ask you on the comments below, are you feeling that your income is consistent right now? Yes or no? One of the first things that I want to talk about is that realtors sometimes rely too much on their emotions. And I feel like, even though we're not lawyers, I feel like we should be acting like one in this business, especially when we're working with people, right? They already have their emotions that they're bringing to the table, either if you're representing the buyer or the seller. And we need to be that natural and neutral ground for our clients. But now, talking about our daily activities. Sometimes we're too emotional. If you make a call or you send a text message, they don't reply to you, or they get back to you and they say, no, I'm not looking to buy for the next 2 years. And then you already feel emotionally attached to that answer. And then now that could be dragging not only days, but sometimes weeks, and worse yet, even months for you to put your head back in the game and get, in more conversations for you to get to the next client. Or also, I've seen a lot of agents that do work really hard, but they're not seeing results. But what are they working hard on? And that's the key. Where are you spending your time? You need to have a clear vision of what's your goals and what is going to be your daily activity. And then with that, now you're going to be able to focus in what are the activities you're doing. And then third, you're going to be able to be consistent. And this is going to be the key for this business if you want to succeed and to grow, or to bare minimum, maintain sustainable income that is predictable. And I know sometimes it's hard to say that in real estate, right? Because like, oh, you know, buyers might not be buying because the interest rate is high, or sellers don't want to sell because the interest rate is right. So you can always use those excuses, but go back to not the noise of what the market is saying, but your consistency and focus and clear vision for what you want to do in your business. Here is going to be the secret sauce that is not so secret, but you need to do it. You have to have a consistent money making activity daily. What are money making activity daily? It is your lead generation. I don't know about you. Usually in the past, my three areas of lead generation has been social media, um, open houses, and my sphere. And sometimes those things can change from, season to season. I am in a season right now that I am heavily focusing on my sphere. I am not doing a lot of open houses for some, like, other reasons, that it's not because it doesn't work. It's just physically right now that is not being the best for me. So I am focusing heavily on my sphere. And then social media for me is always going to be the cherry on the top. So which means I'm always going to do it. But going back to lead generation, what are you doing for your lead generation? And you need to be consistent. Are you spending even an hour or two that is primarily focused on contacting people to let them know you are in real estate, to provide a value, give them maybe some, market report, market analysis, give them something that they can maybe reach out with more questions, or you have a reason to continue, which will be the second thing, the follow up. Here's the thing a lot of agents sometimes will use as an example. the open house. You meet someone, you try really hard, you gather information, and then you send a message to them after that open house, so excited that you got a phone number, an email, and they never hear from you. Well, how often are you going to continue to follow up with those clients? You probably already heard this from somewhere, from some other real estate expert. They say the money is on the follow up. And sometimes it can take, 5 to 12 touches before that client converts. And you are building relationship each time you're trying to connect with them. I would say this, unless someone tells you to remove their phone number or email from your contact list, you have a door open for you to contact them if they gave you their information. So focus on your daily lead generation, because that, even if you have a deal right now, but if you're focusing all your energy in one deal, when it ends, you're going to have to start over. So the lead generation needs to be happening on a daily basis, regardless if you're working with a client right now or not. And then the follow up, because sometimes you don't get the person on the same day you contact them. Maybe that day, they are stressed out without work, or something's going on in their family or their health, and you don't know those factors, but you're taking that emotionally, and that's something we don't want to do, right? We want to wear that little hat of like a lawyer, like I'm here to support my business and then to support others. Your emotions are not attached to an answer or not an answer from a possible prospect. The other area that I feel like it would be very hard if you're not tracking your numbers. And it can be something so simple. Maybe you do have a CRM, but it feels overwhelming because there's so many things you could do on your CRM and you don't even know how to start. And then if you're going to put all the hours to train on your CRM, oh my gosh, and then you don't do anything. So going back from what I shared, have a clear vision, and then you're going to be able to focus, and then you're going to be consistent. And then as you're doing that, you can create something as basic as writing on, a piece of paper, like daily, who are the people you're going to be contacting with and what are the responses are. If you like, the traditional old ways of like tracking, or you can create a Google form, and then you can just like track all things on a form or a Google sheet, and then you can put like today's date, this is the person that I contact, did you call them, did you text them, and then you can just wait until they reply to you, and then you fill it out like you contacted them that day, and when are you going to contact them again? That's going to help you with that tracking and that follow up. And even better, because you're going to know, like, once the more you track, you're going to see like, well, so it looks like that maybe every time I contact about 20 people, one person replied to me. Even they might not necessarily convert into a client, but those are going to give you an idea that, you need volume of conversations. So track your numbers. This is not from anybody else, but for you. And to also, it's going to motivate you even more as you see the results. And it's just not in your head, but it's in a piece of paper. Or you when remember when someone messages you, and then you're like, wow, this is work, some of the seeds I've been putting in the last few months, and now I am seeing the harvest. So definitely keep track. And as I said, take all the emotional, from these activities. This is better to be like a consistent, slow pace than just like being one day, extra energy. You do like 30 follow-ups and then you don't follow up for the rest of the week, or you do 30 calls and then you don't call for the rest of the week. Creating those small habits daily is going to be more helpful for you, because now you're going to be checking off that you've done that. And as well, I don't know about you, but when there's something that I need to do on my list, and usually it is sometimes the lead generation, and you check that box, it's like a weight got lifted from your back, because now you completed that task that maybe it's your least favorite one for whatever reason. And then just start thinking like, if you need to write on your piece of paper or on your, Google sheet, like, money making, like whatever word or something that is going to encourage you, that every time you're making one more conversation, one more connection, you are getting closer to getting a new client and closing a deal. And what does that mean for you, right? What does that mean? Is that putting food in your table for you and your family, paying bills? So, If anything that needs to be beyond motivational to help you out to stay on track, you're going to definitely win. So here is the thing that is a level, for all of us realtors. It doesn't matter if you're new, it doesn't matter if you've been in the business for a long time. So getting a consistent income, it's not only based on talent, it's based on consistency of activities. Who is more consistent will win. And that is, again, not based of how many years you've been in the market. Sure, I can understand the more you do a good job for many years, you might get some referrals, but getting new business and then also staying on top of mind. Even if an agent, did a lot of deals, but they're not doing things to stay top of mind with their current, clientele, they might not get any referrals. So, so it is a continual business to get you to the next level. And if you are currently struggling, you just even need, help to know from A to B, because sometimes even the basic can be complicated for some people, and that's okay. I feel like I've been getting more successful in my business because I do have people that are doing better than me, have coaches that are helping me take my business to the next level. And maybe that's what you need. So definitely reach out to me at Top Agent Wolfpack. Let's schedule a call and let's see how I can help you take your business to the next level. And I'm so grateful you're here. So let's make 2026 the best year yet.